rust.
Sarah, we all know you can get burned by a hot stove like this, and that is hot. And of course, you can get roasted by a hot oven, but what most people don't know is a combination of the two can be catastrophic. Let me show you how. If you put some water on a stove, it starts to boil, and you open the oven, if a small child comes by and puts just a little bit of weight on here, watch what can happen. The stove can easily tip. As we've seen before, that can have tragic consequences.
He was screaming and crying. His eyes were just, there was nothing there. Because I was just like, oh my God, this isn't happening.
The unbearable screaming, the broken and blistered skin, the brutal but necessary surgery. All images still as close, still as searing as the nearest stovetop to Mother Stephanie Moran.
It was hard for a long time after that.
It was dinner time. She was cooking, and her baby boys were just walking by.
He'd opened the door, put his foot up on it. The whole oven flipped over. The pot had flew off the oven.
And flew onto 18-month-old James Hamblin, forcing scalding water to burn its way down his back.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And that's all I would say, and that's all I was thinking. And then it's like, what do I do? And
rescuers did what they could, rushing him to the hospital. And as they did, the nightmare began to roll by as tragic numbers. An 18-month-old baby, second and third degree burns, 28% of his skin singed. And then numbers that burned even deeper.
it had to be 3 or 4 or 5 pages of range and stove tip overs and people lawsuits and people being burned, people being killed.
Burned or killed by regular stoves. Stoves in 15 to 20 million American homes. Stoves that may be just a touch and a tip away from disaster. And the trigger almost every time, simply too much weight here. Consumer Product Safety Commission documents say since 1980, tragic tips have killed 33. Injured at least 84 people, like Deshandra Lachey.
I tried to move, but couldn't move fast enough. Started screaming, a lot of pain.
The consequences of these are often catastrophic.
Attorney Dan Ciano brought the first case to light here in San Antonio back in 1986 after a stove seared a 3-year-old girl's arm off. Since then, his number of cases has been stacking up.
I can't even add them up on all my toes, all my fingers.
The finger, he says, should be pointed back at manufacturers. They've known, he says, about solutions like breakaway doors.
The door yields before the range tips over.
Or stabilizing brackets. And he says they've known for decades.
Goes back to 1969.
Since then, though, they've warned us with stickers and labels. But the problem, some say, begs for a bigger solution.
Problem right now is the defect is still not being adequately addressed at the manufacturing level.
The manufacturers say they have addressed the issue, their industry website clearly stating their position that if recommended installation guidelines are followed by properly installing the anti-tip device, the range will not tip.
This one has one.
Home Inspector Ray Daly says anti-tip devices do work.
This will continue to come right on over.
But in nearly 17 years, inspecting more than 2,500 San Antonio homes, he says this is the most common scene. 70% or more have no safety devices.
So how big of a problem is this from what you see every day?
We see it every day. And the majority of the anti-tip devices are missing.
And to the victims, that means a true solution is still missing, leaving them feeling burned yet again.
They knew about it and chose not to do anything. I didn't know about it, and now my son's burned and scarred for the rest of his life.
Nearly a dozen years now since surviving this.
The thicker scarring.
And today, her son still bears the horrible scars.
And then, of course, it goes all the way down.
Told you not to insult the jump shot, Mom.
And even as he moves on, even as he now has a shot at the future, Since his stovetop burn, 10 more people have died. 34 more people have been injured. It's a losing score, once again leaving this family feeling defeated.
The stove company should have fixed it, but they don't really care.
Kids getting burned, kids being scarred for life, people dying, and they still choose not to fix it.
Well, the best way to avoid catastrophic burns from these heating elements is simply to install those brackets. During the piece, we actually put them on this stove. You can tell it barely moves. For more information on how to fix your stove, go to our website, mysa.com, keyword web links. For now, it's the very latest live in San Antonio. I'm Ross Palombo, KENS 5 News.